Hey folks, John here. Thank you for tuning in and welcome back once again to This Will My Take, where the headlines meets real talk. Yeah, real life. We bring the headlines and we talk about it. How you guys doing, folks? I hope you're having an amazing and, a blessed weekend. To me, it's okay on my end. And folks, I would like you to please help the platform grow. I see you guys engaging. I see you guys commenting. And I really do appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. And God bless you all. And I hope that someday I will look back and be like, these folks stuck with me from the beginning. These are, and you are my day ones, folks. Now, folks, let's get into why we are here today. So, this is the second drop on our podcast, and I'm trying to make sure that every weekend, I take weekends for podcast. So, we are going to talk about something real interesting, folks. So, today's episode, I want us to dive into the troubling Supreme Court ruling of July 23rd, 2025. Now, if you don't know, man, the court allowed President Trump to remove 3 Democratic commissioners at the Consumer Product Safety Commission. Now, is this decision legal? And what it means, what does it mean for Americans, the average American? Let's break it down, folks. Now, let me give you a little bit of background on the CPSC. The Consumer Product Safety Commission, the CPSC, was created by Congress in 1972 to protect the American people from defective or dangerous products. Things like toys, electronics, furniture recall, and and so on and so forth. Now, the statute grants commissioners a staggering, gives commissioners 7 years terms and only allows the president to remove them for neglect of duty or malfeasance, not for political reasons like we're seeing Donald Trump do. Now, this setup ensures bipartisan independence and technical expertise, keeping the consumer protection free from partisan swings. Yes, that's the background. Now, what happened? Donald Trump comes into power and just takes the American policies and economy and turns it into a shit show. This administration is a shit show. Now, let's talk about, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen. On May 9th, 2025, Trump dismissed 3 CPSC commissioners appointed by Joe Biden: Mary Boyle, Alexander Hoehn-Saric, and Richard Trumka Jr. The commissioner sued. On June 13, a federal judge ruled they were unlawfully removed and reinstated them, citing the Humphreys Executor of 1935 precedent protecting agency independence. Lower appeal courts denied a stay, but on July 23rd, 2025, the Supreme Court granted the administration's emergency appeal and stayed the reinstatement order in a 6-3 decision following the firing to stand while litigation continues. Folks, now I don't know about you, but it seems as if this man intentionally put some of his stooges into the Supreme Court so that they can allow him to do whatever he wants to do. Now, the court referenced its earlier emergency decision in Trump v. Wilcox regarding the NLRB and the MSPB firings to justify their actions. Folks, I know just like any other person watching and listening to what I'm saying, you will be wondering why this ruling is dangerous. Now, first, I will give you a couple of reasons why I do think that this whole thing is actually dangerous and very, very disturbing. The first thing is the undermining of congressional structure. By allowing removal without cause, the court effectively cancels Congress designed for independent oversight agencies, not presidential will. The second reason why this is dangerous and disturbing, ignoring nearly a century of precedent. The Humphreys Executor ruling has long protected agencies like FTC, the SEC, the FCC, and the CPSC from partisan shockings. This decision signals a possible overturning of that precedent. We all know that Donald Trump likes to get into something and he just destroys it and, just turns it into a shit show. The third reason why this thing is disturbing and dangerous is that it erodes the erosion of checks and balances. Yes, checks and balances through this decision has just been taken to the shredders. Now, Justin Kagan in dissent won this ruling transfers agency authority piece by piece to the executive branch, weakening legislative and judicial oversight. Think about it. This man thinks that he can rule. Matter of fact, he actually wants to be the chief of everything. He wants to control every institution in America so that he can put in those who kiss up to his ass. Yes, I will say that because this is a clear indication of that. And then the fourth reason why this decision is actually dangerous because it has a global impact on consumer safety. Without independent commissioners, ladies and gentlemen, the CPSC could become it becomes a political thing. Like you put people who we've seen him put people in positions that do not belong there. Kash Patel is not supposed to be where he's at. Dan Bongino is not supposed to be where he's at. But see, consumer safety decisions like recalls or regulations might reflect political agendas, not evidence-based protection. And we all know what this man is fighting for. This man is actually fighting to protect those billionaires and the elite class who put him into power. Now, let's get into the next step of this whole conversation. Are the justices aiding institutional erosion? Some folks might say yes, and some folks might, those who support this whole mess of eroding everything, they will say that, well, maybe it's not. But this is what I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen. 6 conservative judges enabled the ruling, while Justice Kagan, Sotomayor, and Jackson dissented, condemning the lack of full briefing, oral argument, and reasoned rulings. Now, critics like journalist Stephen Greenhouse argued the court is empowering a lawless presidency and compromising democracy by eroding independent institutions. This is true. If this is not exactly what Mr. Trump wants, then I don't know. If any person is going to support this guy, I do not understand if you do know what is at play here. Now, it is not just about Trump. Let me say this, folks. It's about whether future presidents can unilaterally dismantle watchdog bodies. We all know Trump hates to be held accountable. We see what is happening with the Ep.II file case. The public is calling for accountability, but this man is trying to maneuver and play games. Now, why does it matter to you as an average American, as an average citizen? I want you to pay close attention, folks. Less consumer protection oversight. Weakened agencies may slow or cancel recalls for hazardous products. So think about this. If a billionaire has a product that he wants to roll out in the market, or a CEO, the elites, and there's something wrong with that product, it's hard to recall it. With this move, this man is going to put people that will suck up to him. The next thing is it becomes a political shit show. Like watchdog agencies, it becomes a political shit show because appointees, those he will appoint, selected for loyalty. It's all about loyalty and not expertise, and this will increase risk in the consumer system. Now, the lower trust in government. All of this dismissal and the support by the Supreme Court is actually making folks less trustworthy of the government. They will not trust what the government is saying. When institutions lose independence, public confidence erodes. And this is fact, and we have started to see that. And then the other reason why this should matter to you is harder legal defense. This man has put his stooges in position to stand for him. Future commissioners might be dismissed before litigation reaches final court judgment. Now, this is crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you why your voice matters in all this. Call your representatives. urge Congress to protect independent agency roles and enact reforms to restore statutory protections. This is real, folks. And you need to stay informed. You need to support, we the people, we the citizen need to support watchdog journalism and follow development in the appellate process. And I need you to vote with values. Do not vote these MAGA heads who would do anything to kiss up to Donald Trump. Leadership matters. When agencies are put under the microscope of politics, man, you lose. Literally, we lose. Now, I want to end this by saying this, ladies and gentlemen. The court's action on July 23rd is more than a narrow legal case. It's part of a pattern weakening independent oversight boards across the government under Donald Trump. They are doing it. They know exactly what they're doing. Do not think this man is doing all of these things by chance. He knows exactly what he's doing. If independent agencies like the CPSC, tasked with protecting your safety, ladies and gentlemen, can be stripped at will, democratic checks and consumer protections are at risk. Let me repeat that. Democratic checks and consumer protections are at risk if independent agencies like the CPSC, tasked with protecting you, do not function. We must demand for accountability, defend constitutional safeguards, and recognize that independence equals public safety. Thank you for listening. Please do not forget to subscribe and stay tuned. Together we can hold power in check. Folks, this world is complicated. I want us to keep talking about it.